Hello truth seekers, welcome back to the channel where we uncover the shocking truths hidden in plain sight behind all that glitters beneath Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Good evening readers, we are so glad you came back to see the second serving of ongoing royal family saga drama that is colder than a frosty snowball. Time to narrate a messy tale of the Markle family? Well, grab some popcorn kids, because the drama just unraveled itself to a peak of chaos like no other. First, the publication of recent bombshell interview with Meghan's estranged father Thomas Markle. This one is a real shocker, so get ready. But first, before diving into the stormy seas that is this revelation, if you haven't already, then make sure to hit subscribe and enable notifications. You do not want to miss the upcoming explosive discoveries coming your way. Now, with all of that said, let's get to the good stuff, this royal soap opera. The man whose wisdom, according to family friends, turned Meghan with room enough for an heir child into the person she is today, Thomas Markle, will soon be 80. And who do you think is not sending the birthday wishes? Yes, his own daughter Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex. Viewers, can you believe the gall? This is the man whom she was under the impression financed her way to fame, put her through expensive schools, and allegedly gave her everything she needed just to be left high and dry by his own blood on a birthday. And it just absolutely breaks your heart, doesn't it? But hold on, there's more. Maybe more terrible, or delightful depending on your point of view. Thomas admits he has not met his two grandchildren, Archie and Lilibet. Yes folks, this grandfather has never laid eyes on the royal grandkids. Right now he would even take a photo. A mere photo. Well, the expectations have crashed quite a bit. Meghan is playing "let's see how far I can push my own dad," and her father responds like any sane person would. The Meghan defenders can shout as loud and often they like, but the truth is just that. Thomas had the nerve to air out confidential parts of his own son's life for some OK magazine coins, and we hope Samantha drags her for that. He's been toxic. We may think he made some poor choices, but come on. Who hasn't made mistakes? Regrets, who has not been there? Such as family, especially, but the opinion of U.S. royal commentator Hillary Fordwich would put an interesting spin on this situation. She has been very vocal in her criticism about Meghan. Fordwich, meanwhile, is highlighting Meghan's hypocrisy. Backed up by proof. Case in point, this Instagram post by Meghan, touting her father as the ultimate dad. Oh, how times have changed. Check your ads on this one. You made a mistake of posting this, John FX. Say, you profess your undying love for the job only to become disinterested a week later. Well, let us discuss Meghan's rags to riches story for a second. Born and raised in humble circumstances, she powered her way up the ladder on pure grit, or so it seems. But as Fordwich points out, Meghan had quite a posh life, growing up in private schools and the daughter of an entertainment industry dad. Well then, just like her alleged acting career, the tale of going from rags to riches is definitely a misnomer. The thing that hits me the most is their continued push to be supportive, empathetic, and give a shit about other people, with special shout-outs, obviously, to mental health. They compete to see who can be the most compassionate in public, giving out hugs willy-nilly on national tours, yet they do not even seem notice their own family. They appear to all too regularly be so empathetic with every Tom, Dick or Harry that some of that empathy fails a bit nearer home in understanding relatives Thomas Markle and King Charles, who both find themselves in the same predicament. The lack of siblings to be perturbed by paints a sad picture, one that ties back in with Fordwich's own melancholy outlook. And, in addition to this, PR is important too. During the conversation with Fordwich, Mark Dolan quite rightly draws attention to how these Thomas Markle interviews may damage the brand of Harry and Meghan. To that point, it's clear that Harry and Meghan have taken their royal brand all business. But the current course looks bleak. Think about how they went from being respected working royals to instead hawking pet merchandise and chutney. Did Meghan actually follow this iconic American dream? From Duchess to dog treats. Well, that is a steep decline from the grace. But guess what, boys and girls? Fordwich notes that Meghan's not just happy being second fiddle to Her Royal Highness Catherine. Well, guess what, Megs? Now, you barely exist. And quicker than one can say, Megxit, you went from royal to nothing. And poor Harry. Fordwich claims he squandered the love and goodwill of a nation. And she is right. Harry sure was one naughty prince back then. The people's choice? The soldier? The joker? Now what is he, exactly? Mr. Meghan Markle? Professional complainer? Sad end of a king who at once held the world by its fingertips. But first, let's go back to Thomas Markle. The man, who is close to 80 years old, just wants a picture of his grandchildren. Really, is that so much to ask? I mean, come on, Meghan. Who can advertise their kids in a sprawling Netflix special and glossy magazine spread but not be able to send one over to her own dad? You might argue that private letters have been leaked. Well then think on Fordwich's words. She claimed that Thomas was brainwashed into saying this. He said he hadn't intended to harm them so badly. And so, maybe that is valid, or possibly it is not. If leaking private information is so unacceptable, then why are Harry and Meghan doing the same to the royal family? They certainly here throwing their whole royal family under the bus with such much, airing out family affairs left, right and center. That is unless Thomas Markle does it. Double standards, meet example 1. But here is what really blows my mind. Meghan and Harry are always talking about mercy, love and mental well-being. That they have built an image about, their entire persona. But what about sympathy for Thomas Markle? What about compassion for a man who, while wrong in many ways, clearly loves his daughter and only wants to have contact with the grandchildren? However, let's turn to mental health a second. Thomas, did you imagine the damage this was doing to him? But the man, a few weeks short of his 80th birthday and now plagued by health problems, he has not seen or spoken to his daughter in years. That, you can feel in the mental horror. However, Meghan and Harry seem to see mental health as important only when they can claim it impacts upon themselves. When it comes to other people, it seems out of character, doesn't it? All of this, and where do the grandchildren fit into all of it? It means that Archie and Lilibet are growing up fatherless, being cut off from the presence of their grandfather, a matter tied to another missing element. Simply because their parents refuse to swallow some pride and make up. It really is entirely avoidable, a tragedy. Something as simple as a phone call, text message or an olive branch could change everything. Sadly, to expect the same from the Duke and Duchess of Compassion may be wishful thinking. 5. Okay, so what is next for the Markle family saga? If the past is anything to go by, there will be more interviews and tell-all books, airing of dirty laundry in public being somewhat de rigueur for the Markle family. Who need private problem solving when you can feed tabloids JNICL baloney? What do you think about what I just mentioned? What do you think of this list? More edge-of-your-seat stories and shocking reveals to come on my YouTube channel. Make sure you also click here to follow updates on the odd, troubled spiritual journey of the royal family. Thank you for watching. Here, more on the royal family. Goodbye for now.